Hey, what's going on, guys? Like Butter here, and today I'm bringing you a Division video that I really hoped I would never make. So today we got some information about a ninja nerf. Now, if you guys don't know what ninja nerfs are, it's basically when a company kind of just does a nerf to a weapon or something in a game and doesn't put it in the patch notes. Basically, they just change it without telling anyone, and that's what happened. Now, some of you guys probably have noticed recently in the Dark Zone that the PvP has been a bit weird. Like, gunfights last drastically longer than they used to, and I thought this had to do with the 75% armor mitigation, the nerf to brutal, the change to reckless, and also the major nerf to Sentry's Call. And I thought this had to do with those changes, when in reality a huge reason why a lot of people aren't doing that much damage in this update, and I don't know how recent this change was because they ninja nerfed crit chance. Now, if you don't know how crit chance used to work, I'll explain it to you. So basically, 60% was the soft cap for crit chance, which means you couldn't get over 60% on your base stats. However, if you used other things such as like pulse, which I'll show you guys here in a second, my pulse. So on my pulse, I should be getting 22.9% crit chance, and I should be getting 55.3% crit hit damage. So when I use my pulse, when I pulse and it affects somebody, I see them and they get pulsed, I'm supposed to have 22.9% extra crit chance, and I'm going to show you guys why that's not the case. So, for example, let's look at my stats real quick. Now, I have Savage Gloves for the 14% extra crit chance against enemies who aren't in cover. So 14% on top of my already 42% would put me at 56% crit chance. Now, when I pulse, I'm supposed to go up from, 56 all the way up to 88% crit chance. However, that's how it used to work. They did a ninja nerf so that the hard cap is at 60% regardless of your pulse. So all this time, all these hours I've been playing the Division and wondering why it feels like I'm never freaking doing any damage. I thought it was tacticians. I thought it was, tank meta. I thought it was people using triage and never dying. I thought it was the armor. It turns out that I'm only getting 4% crit chance when I pulse. 4% crit chance. And I'm super disappointed in Massive, and I'm super disappointed in Ubisoft. Their response to it was saying that this was intended, and the reason it wasn't in the patch notes was simply a mistake. I really don't believe that personally. I think that they knew this was going to make a lot of people rage. It doesn't make sense that you kind of buff defense by adding an extra 10% mitigation. You add easier ways to get fully geared, so obviously people are going to have higher armor rolls on their gear, since you could pretty much get an entire set of 240 gear just by staying in DZ06 for a little while. And then, all these other changes to Brutal and Reckless and Sentry's Call. And then on top of all that, Nerf Pulse, the most popular skill in the Division. Oh man, I'm so sad, because I feel so betrayed. I don't know if that's just me, but I built this build for the last couple of weeks around the idea of me pulsing and doing damage. And it just turns out that, it's never gonna, no wonder the offensive ult is irrelevant. Your hard cap at 60% crit, I noticed that too. When I was shooting people, I was noticing the white hit markers very often, and I was just why is that happening so often now? Whereas usually, especially when you crit, you're hitting mostly crit shots. Now, the fact that this was intentional makes me super sad, because either they need to change it back, which I doubt they will, or they need to do something very soon in order for, you know, multiplayer in PvP to go back to the, not so much the way it was, but a healthy medium. Like right now, teams, you know, teams of 4 who are running tactician builds and who are running triage can pretty much tank damage from an entire server. Yes, an entire server. If you guys have watched my streams, you guys will know that there are some groups out there that built entirely skill builds and can run around and tank damage from the entire server and never die. And I thought this was due to, like I said, all those other changes that we knew about. I had no idea that it was an actual genuine ninja nerf that we never were informed of. And I feel so, like I said, just so sad, really. It's really sadness is what it is, I think. I'm just genuinely upset that they didn't tell us this stuff, because all those people out there like myself that built their build around crit chance and around crit hit damage, it's just, it sucks, man. It really does. And I hope that they change it back to the way it was. Like, I understand like why they're doing it. They're trying to get people away from using SMGs, and that's like understandable. However, that's not the way to do it, man. You don't want to nerf SMGs, especially because they said they were doing no nerfs, which makes it even worse. They said they were not going to nerf anything, and that they were only going to do buffs. And like, so if that's the case, wow, I just got one hit. If that's the case, then why did they just basically nerf SMGs? Like, it's a nerf towards SMGs because SMGs have the most, you know, crit chance. So a lot of that crit chance is ending up being unused when you're using your skills. So I just think it's really messed up that they did that instead of just buffing assault rifles and LMGs and shotguns. Like, I don't see how it's that difficult. Like, I think we can all agree that in this meta, the tank meta, people building tacticians and all that stuff is not fun. It's not fun at all. Sometimes you get fun gunfights and stuff, but when you run against those groups that just are running around in circles and are like impossible to hit because they're running in and out of triage constantly, it's not a good time, man. Like, when people PvP, they want results. Nobody wants to sit there and be in a 40-minute gunfight where no one's dying. Like, I understand, like, you know, the meta, the old meta was a little ridiculous, okay? With an SMG, you could completely just tear someone up, just completely shred them, right? But that had to do with like Sentry's Call and 65% mitigation being the cap, and a bunch of other things that were kind of like not really, you know, factored in when looking at this to be a problem, I think. Because like, it doesn't make sense that they would nerf this and not tell us. And like, I just don't think it was a mistake. I don't know, maybe you guys let me know in the comment section below what you guys think, if you think it was a mistake. But you know, small bugs I can understand being left out, because obviously there's a huge list of them. But that is a major change to the game, a major nerf. That's not something small that you just, you know, like, oh my god, you know, we just basically, you know, crit chance, one of the most popular stats, one of the most popular offensive stats in the game. You know, we're hard capping it at 60%, regardless of, you know, how much crit chance they get from their pulse. But, you know, we're not going to say anything about it, even though, like I said, it's one of the most popular stats in the game. That's just, it's unrealistic, dude. There's no way. I think that they knew that people would freak out, because I personally think it's a terrible nerf. Like, unless they're going to add something like armor penetration, I don't understand the nerf. If they add armor penetration, I will understand it, because it'll make sense. But right now, it's impossible. Like, it's so hard to kill people in the dark zone now, especially, like I said, because everyone is like fully geared and stuff. So like, the chances of killing people are so slim, especially by yourself. Like, the only reason, like, I posted that 1v4 video the other day, and I just killed myself. And I think a huge reason why a lot of people enjoyed it was simply just because you don't see that anymore. You don't see the 1v4 clutches anymore, whereas in 1.1 I would do it all the time. And even though people liked it back then, like, it's kind of unheard of because that group hasn't really learned the meta yet and figured out, you know, all of the things that they can be doing to make them 10 times stronger. And I don't know, man. I'm just a little bit upset, dude. Like, I was raging pretty hard earlier today on my stream because there's like little factors like that get left out, and they add to bigger problems. And one of the bigger problems being like shock turrets and stuff like that. Like, shock turrets are more annoying now than they've ever been just because of the extra tankiness. I kind of want to just shoot these guys. I kind of want to just shoot these guys to prove to you how cringy it is to try to kill someone. Should I do it? Here, let's do it. Alright. I'm going to wait for my pulse to come off cooldown. And then I'm going to start shooting them and watch. Alright, now remember, I should have 80 something % crit chance, right? Right, guys? Right? 80%. I guarantee you see a whole bunch of white damage indicators real soon. Okay, he popped ult, right? Literally, I have 0 chance at killing them now. Not a single thing I can do. And that didn't even hit me. So there you go, you got sticky bomb. That's what people are kind of resulting to now since no one takes damage. Look at all the white markers, guys. Look at them. You can still see the crits, but you can see way more white markers than I should be when I'm pulsing. Alright, so there's another ult. That guy's got an iPhone. I'm pretty sure that's what that is. Alright, let me back up a little bit. Alright, I'm about to pulse again. Watch again, like all of the neither of them have ult. I feel like I can 2v1 them. All those white damage indicators, man, they're crazy. So they're pulse, so I should be doing 88% crit. Oh, there was not a crit. There's a lot of white fucking markers there, boys. And here we go. Here's the gunfights I'm talking about. People running in circles, no one doing any damage, until eventually someone just puts a shock turret down, and then that's the end of it. That's usually how it ends, boys. So they need to do some major changes to the PvP in this game, because at this point in time, it's really not that fun because of the issues of how hard it is to try to kill somebody. See, strafe around. Alright, so I did some damage to him right there, right? But look, he's back. He's like gonna be full health again. Until I eventually get caught on fire with instant bullets or something. Like, look, like they can't even really do damage to me, man. This fight is pointless. Like, none of us are gonna die. Like, I'll be very surprised if they kill me. It's gonna end up being like, you know, an NPC that kills me or something. And like, there's some people out there that can look at this and be like, yo, you're just constantly whining. And like, yeah, you're right. I'm whining because this is my favorite game. Okay? The Division has changed my life. Okay? It has literally changed my life because I found love in this game. Like, I found this game to be one of my favorite games, and I started posting content for it. And people really enjoyed it. So I'm going to say anything possible. I'm going to whine, I'm going to kick, I'm going to scream, I'm going to throw temper tantrum, I'm going to do whatever I need to do in order for them to not break this game. Because right now, in this current state, PvP is broken. 100% chance. It's just 100%, it's broken because there's nothing that you can do to output enough damage to counter the constant healing. Now, what they need to do is they need to either change it back so that we can build crit chance, because that's the only counter to armor, since there's no armor penetration. Like, the only counter to armor is building a bunch of crit and hopefully just outputting enough damage. Like, look at, they just left me. They didn't even come for me because they know there's no chance that I'm ever gonna die. They either need to add penetration for armor, like, or they need to, you know, add crit back, or they need to make it so that the tactician's build is changed a little bit or something. I don't know what they're gonna do. What do you guys think? What do you guys think they're gonna do? Leave me a comment in the comment section below. I really think that the armor penetration, whole armor penetration thing is a good idea. I think they should do it, even if it's like, you know, 10 to 15%. I think it will make a big difference. And I don't think that people should be able to stack armor and not have to really worry about their health too much, just because of all the different ways that there are to heal. And another thing they could do is add bullets into the game, like change incendiary bullets. Make it so that incendiary bullets, instead of doing like damage over time and having it like turn you into crazy status effects where you're basically padding yourself and you can't do anything. Instead of doing that, why don't the incen bullets like slow your movement a little bit and then make it so that your healing is cut in half or something like that for 5 seconds or something like that, you know? I think that would be way more helpful. That way you kind of counter against the tactician builds and shit like that. Alright, these are the guys before. I kind of want to shoot them. I think they're suspicious of me, dude. Alright, who's ready for another round of no one dying? So that guy's back to full health. Oh, there's the shock turret, boys. So I ate an energy bar. And they're like running away from me, dude. Dude, look at the shot. Look at the range on this thing. This thing's crazy. Look at this thing, dude. Look at that, dude. I actually didn't get shocked there. I got lucky. Wait, no, it did shock me. See, here's the problem with the shock turret. I kind of want to get shocked again just to show you guys. The problem with the shock turret is that A, the range is ridiculous, and B, I think these extended fights are making it even worse for shock turrets, because what it's doing is it's forcing more PvP to kind of rely on it. And when you're relying on that, it kind of causes for the game to end up ending in a result of that, if that makes sense to you guys. I don't know. I've been up all night, so I'm kind of talking out of my ass right now, and I'm a little depressed that like a company like Ubisoft and Massive, that I had huge respect for, like a lot of respect, like, you know, they made my favorite game. How can I not have respect for them? Just kind of did a ninja nerf, man, and kind of, I don't know, kind of betrayed us a little bit. I don't want to be too sappy and too emotional over it, but it's a little bit frustrating for me, especially a big YouTuber and streamer who constantly supports and you know, promotes this game and tells people to play it and this and that. You know, I'm sitting here raging on my live stream because I can't kill anybody, when all along it had to do with an unneeded nerf. Let's call it an unneeded nerf, because that's exactly what it was. If you want people to use other weapons, I don't know if anyone from Ubisoft or anyone from Massive is watching this. If you want people to use other weapons besides SMGs, don't nerf SMGs, buff assault rifles. Give assault rifles a armor piercing stat. Do something else, but definitely don't nerf, and definitely don't nerf it behind our back, because you guys need to be transparent with us, dude. Seriously. You guys need to be 100 all the time because we're the ones playing and supporting your game. It just seemed like you guys wanted to go ahead and just change it and not care about the feedback. Like, I don't know. That's just how I feel. Okay. I'm gonna render this video and go to sleep and hopefully, you know, get some shut-eye. Anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I mean, hopefully you didn't enjoy it, I should say, because a lot of these things are pretty upsetting. But hopefully you guys will leave the video a like anyways. And I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Be sure to leave me a comment down below on what you think. Later, guys.